Hey everyone, Fun Size Nation here. Just wanted to do a fun little video real quick because I felt like making a video. I'm really sweaty and gross because I just finished basketball, but an idea struck me and I'm just going to make it. So I want to do a long exposure shot, and I'm going to teach you guys how to do it if you don't already know. Hopefully I give you some cool ideas. So here's what you want to do for any long exposure shot. A lot of the PowerShot cameras are able to do long exposures, but the best long exposure shots work with DSLRs. Now, one thing that's very important is you need a tripod. Don't try to do a long exposure shot without a tripod. The next thing you want to do is you're going to want to play with your settings to see how long to expose the shot. This is the shutter speed of your camera. Instead of putting it up to like 1/60th of a second and anything like that, increasing into the fractions, you want to go the opposite direction. You want to go for 1 second, and so instead of scrolling one way, you just scroll the other way. And you'll want to play with that to find the right exposure, because if you're in a black room, you know, your exposure will be fine, it won't make a difference. But if you have street lights coming in from a window, you know, a 5-second shot could expose too much light coming in from the window, and then black room light exposure would be ruined. Also, you want to keep your ISO pretty low. I don't generally like to go over 400 on the ISO, because once you pass that point, it gets really noisy or grainy. If you didn't know that, if you don't understand what ISO is, when you go past 400, that's when the picture starts to get these little dots to try and fill in the black, because it's trying to read the dark better. And unless your camera's like super amazing, you know, high ISO doesn't work that well. And then the other thing is the f-stop. Now the f-stop is the focal length. I like to crank my f-stop up all the way. That way I don't have to worry so much about focusing. I know that if it's up to like 22, almost everything will be in focus, but the higher your f-stop, the darker your image is going to be. So you're going to want to turn up the length of time that your shot is exposed if your f-stop's at 22. Again, it's, you know, it's not an exact science for long exposure. It's a, you know, trial and error kind of thing. So be prepared to take a few images. So I'm going to go ahead and set up to do the long exposure shot. Also, in case you were wondering, the Old Roy wet dog food that we did with Walker didn't really sit well with his stomach. I think my dog just might have an oversensitive stomach, and I also think their whole meal isn't supposed to consist of it. I think it's like a treat that you give your dog, and it's just like half a can or something like that. But his favorite was the rotisserie chicken. That was the one he seemed to like the most. Hey there, right, buddy? Hey there, right? You want to say hi? You want to say hi to the camera? Come here. He's running away from me right now.